Mr. Foster, how are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Glad to be on the radio with you guys.
It's great to have you on the radio. I know you've got a big event coming up down here in the Houston area, but certainly want to talk some football with you and talk about the running back position, the impact, and things like that. I think about you, Jim Brown, and I think about Arian Foster, similar guys in that you guys are both great football players, but also I think have a lot more things going on outside of football. And I'm curious, Jim, did you see football as a platform while you were playing to eventually make the impact that you made after the game?
Well, I saw football as a great opportunity to have some fun, prove myself in competition, and of course make some money. But beyond that, I always was an activist. I worked in my community. I worked for the betterment of underprivileged people, the betterment of minorities, and I've had a full life. Football has been a great part of it. But the surprising thing is that people always think that football is everything, and of course it's not. And a lot of the youngsters find out too late that their education might be more important than the fact of how they perform on the field.
Jim Brown joining us on Yahoo Sports Radio with Arian Foster. I know one of the things that you do, Jim, and I know one of the cause that your golf tournament is for here down in Texas, October 8th and October 9th, and I'll get to that in just a second. The Amer-I-Can organization, where you go into underprivileged parts of cities, you go into prisons and try and help these kids refocus. Talk about that.
Well, Amer-I-Can is about 22 years old. And a lot of gang members change their lives around and become really model citizens, taking care of their children, respecting the children's mother, reaching out into the prisons and to juvenile facilities to bring education to a lot of those, inmates that would like to change their lives but don't know how. And, it's been a great experience for me because it takes a lot of trust, a lot of communication, and you develop relationships that you can count on. A lot of times, they're easier to work with than the system. The system is sometimes very difficult because it involves money. But I'm sure Aaron knows a lot about that. As a young man that has great talent, he's probably involved in the same kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I try to, get involved in the community as much as possible because, the hardest thing I see is just like you mentioned, man, is to see young men not taking care of their children and then not respecting the children's mothers, man. I think that's so huge in our society that, and kids grow up without fathers. I think that's the biggest thing, man, that you touched on. And go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think that point that you made shows that you are highly intelligent because the fathers, particularly in the African-American community, that's the missing ingredient. The FBI says that's one of the main causes of crime in the African-American community because there are no fathers there, and the African-American fathers don't take the responsibility of their children and, as you said, respect their mothers. We're never going to get anywhere because that's the foundation of everything. So I thank you for bringing that up, and it makes me know that you are definitely aware as a young man. A lot of the young men today are not aware, so I'm very happy to hear you say those things.
Oh, absolutely, man. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I was playing with her last night, and I just looked at her and I said, how could any man walk out on this, miracle? And it's I was blessed enough to have a father in my life that not only was there, but taught me about our community and things that needed to be changed, and that's why just like yourself, man, I plan to use my a little bit of celebrity that I have as a platform. To help, because I believe if you sit on the top of a hill with your big pile of money, you're not doing anything. You're actually hurting more than you're helping. So I want to take this time out to thank you because you've been an inspiration in my life, man. For years, I've looked up to you not only as a football player but as a man, and I think that's important to have a role models outside of this game and outside of the household.
I appreciate that, and you had a heck of a year last year, right?
I tried to.
That's a yes.
I think you fooled everybody, maybe. And now there's some Have you all worked everything out yet?
Oh no, man! I'm gonna play this year out, and whatever happens after that happens.
Okay. Well, just one word of advice: don't neglect the game.
Yes, sir.
Don't neglect the game, because when it's all over and done, the money will be important, but the way you play the game is going to be what people will remember about you. And so don't let anyone keep you out of the game, and always give your best. And, you know, the politics are very difficult sometimes. Sometimes even your own union don't represent you properly. And sometimes these things can be discouraging. But play the game hard and give it all you have at all times, and things will definitely work out.
Well, I appreciate those words, man. And you're a powerful man. Everybody in this house was really talking loud, and now everybody's just listening.
Yeah, they weren't listening to us. Now they're
Nobody
listening.
said a word since you got home, man. But I appreciate those words. And I have one question for you, man. If you were a 25-year-old man in the NFL, and you can go back and you could talk to yourself, what would you tell yourself?
Well, I tell you, I would tell myself that I'm surrounded by a lot of people that their number one interest is money. And I'm going to tell myself, when I study history, I find out that those old guys graduate. And some of those old guys are now the most important guys dealing with the future of the young guys. So really, I would say to myself, be educated, be aware, understand the history of the game, and then apply myself appropriately. See, you have a union that has been sued by its own players. You have a union that talks about money with the owners, and they tell you that it's you versus the owners, but some owners are always in your corner. Some of the greatest advocates would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have Dan Rooney, who works for African-American coaches to get jobs. People don't bring that up. And you have to learn how to understand and distinguish the good and the bad, not just group situations, and follow somebody's leadership that might not be leading you in the right direction. So the bottom line is always educate yourself, and always ask the questions, and always understand what's going on around you.
There it is, Jim Brown and Arian Foster on Yahoo Sports Radio. Jim, before we let you go, October 8th and October 9th at La Torreta Lake Resort here in the Houston area in Montgomery, Texas, you have your celebrity golf tournament coming up to benefit the Amer-I-Can Foundation. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, the big thing about that is my dear friend Big Bill Russell is going to be there.
Nice.
He's a left-handed swinger, and we have some fantastic celebrities that will be there, so we're inviting all the people to come. The benefits will be to the Amer-I-Can program, and we concentrate on education of our young people and stopping violence in our streets. So those two things are highly important, and the benefit is the first one. We hope to have it on an annual level, and we hope to raise a lot of money, and all of that money will be applied to the charity, which is Amer-I-Can, and our record is impeccable over the years because there have been so many lives that have been turned around. So I thank you for bringing it up and promoting it to this degree. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do it again between now and then, too, for sure, Jim. You can go to tmgintl.com, or you can go to the website for the La Torreta Lake Resort, or the best one to go to, Amer-I-Can, amer-i-can.org, and you can get more information. Foursome's still available. And, Jim, they can follow you on Twitter as well, right? At Jim Brown NFL 32?
Absolutely. Sometimes I have something to say, and sometimes I don't.
Don't we all?
All right. Well, great stuff. Jim Brown, NFL great, and a great man as well, joining us on Yahoo Sports Radio. Really appreciate the time, Jim. Thank you very much. We will do it again soon. Thank you.
And I just say thank you and thanks to Mr. Foster, because I know already we're going to be friends.
Absolutely. I was just going to, cut my man off right here and say I would love to do lunch with you sometimes and just talk about life, man.
Beautiful. Give your family my love.
Yes, sir.
Adios, everybody.
Adios.